It's time to laugh along with This Little Parent Stayed Home with Ali Lopreet. This no-brainer tutorial will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue, offering the skills that you've already had. This Little Parent Stayed Home covers important issues such as how to work as a family unit to make your dreams become a reality, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. So let's get empowered. It's time for This Little Parent Stayed Home. And now, here's your host, Ali Lopreet.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home. I am your host, Ali Lopreet, and my co-host and producer here, Danielle Bach, is here with us.
Hello.
So gorgeous, lovely, and pregnant. And we got some good news. We found out the gender. I know.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to reveal it today at the end of the show. So you got to stay tuned if you're wanting to know what she's having. I'm so excited. And I was right, by the way, but I just have to say that I have a knack for these kinds of things. So I don't know about you all out there, but I'm gearing up towards summer. It's amazing that my kids are still in school and it feels like the rest of the world is out of school. I don't know if you remember how summer break was as a kid. Do you remember, Danielle? It was great, right?
Oh,
we all loved it.
Yeah.
What I would give to go back to those days when I was a kid and I could actually enjoy the summer. For me as a mom, a work-at-home mom, and all the other work-at-home moms out there who maybe can't afford day camp or sleepaway camp. Not that I can't afford it, but I can afford it better this year than I could in years past. What ends up happening is we end up being the cruise directors for our kids in the summer. So you should see my calendar, Danielle. It's this big paper calendar that I've created just for the summer. And they keep it in the kitchen for everyone to see, and it's all color-coded by activity. And that way I know, which dollar movie theaters we're going to, and the free museum days, and the free bowling days, and the free concerts at the park, and the $5 bounce house days, and the days we're going to the beach. And I worked really hard on this. But the summer season is where I am really glad that my business is scalable. And what I mean by that is that I can scale it back because it's the time of the year when I can't be as readily available to my clients because my kids aren't in school. It's when my children need me the most, and I'm cruise director. So, however, this year I've actually enrolled both kids in camp for a few weeks, and I am able to dedicate some time to all of you out there. So, wanted to make the announcement that I have started a 3-week Maverick Marketing Summer Power Pack, and I only have 9 spots available. So, if you want in, you need to call me at this number, 323-863-3603. That is my private line. Write it down. Okay, so let me tell you about this Maverick Marketing Summer Power Pack, $497, 3 weeks. And what this is, if you don't know me by now, this is the Maverick Marketing that I always talk about. I get things done. I make things happen for you, or at least I tell you how to do it. So if you're someone who has a very clear focus, there's that word, focus. That's what we're talking about today. Focus. Focus. I love it. Okay. So if you are someone who has a very clear focus, a very direct, specific intention, think about maybe those New Year's resolutions that you made for yourself, if you've not met them yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with you. We're going to come up with that clear intention, and we'll carve out a game plan with you to give you that step-by-step strategy on how to achieve that goal. Anyone who's ever worked with me on my Maverick Marketing has always achieved their goal. None of my game plans have ever failed. The only time they've failed is if you don't do the work, if you don't do exactly what I tell you. Just so you know, my Maverick Marketing is always outside the box. Almost never tactics that you've thought or tried on your own, because I like to get sneaky. That's because I really do believe that sometimes you just have to do what you can do to stand out and bypass all the stragglers. And not everyone is comfortable with my strategies. It's so funny. It's always like the recovering Catholics that seem to have a hard time, with my strategies because they don't like breaking rules. And I can say that. I'm married to a Catholic. It's like my rite of passage to make, I married him for the jokes. But what I mean is that they have a really hard time breaking rules, even when it means that they can be totally wildly rich and successful beyond their wildest dreams. There's still this sort of, guilt that comes with deviating from the norm. Anyway, you will do well with my Maverick Marketing if you resonate with my philosophy. And my philosophy is that I would rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. in the promotion of my business. And if you resonate with that, then you will be given the tools to get your message heard by the right people in way less time, and you will see way more results. That's my guarantee to you. So if you need to get in on that Maverick marketing session, let me just give you some examples. Some of my past clients have gotten literary agents in 2 weeks, and not just any agent, but like the agent of their choice in 2 weeks flat. I've created successful game plans for people in direct sales and network marketing who maybe want to build their teams. Like maybe their goal is like 5 people on their team by the end of the month. I will give you a game plan to make that happen for you. I've helped people who have invented a product get on national TV with it. I've helped life and business coaches create PR campaigns that are so potent that they literally had themselves booked as a guest on more than 20 radio shows in a month. My favorite success story, by the way, is that I helped a girl, a struggling actress, land a national commercial in 10 days.
Wow.
She didn't even have her SAG card when she came to me. And I literally was like, okay, you have to promise that you're going to do everything I tell you step by step by step. You cannot deviate. Like we had a script already. We had to practice it. I will give you all the tools you need. And as long as you do what I tell you to do, you will get that goal met by the end of those 3 weeks. So, it's all about focus, baby, but you need to call me. Call me, 323-863-3603. That is my private line. And how perfect is our guest today? Our guest is awesome. So great. I love David Essel. As far as I'm concerned, he's like one of the best life coaches in the world. I'm not even like, I'm not even saying that because I have to, because I know he's listening. I really, really think he's like super dynamic, and we're in for such a treat having him join us today. Now, focus isn't the only thing that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to dig deep with David, and we're going to talk very specifically about how to sell what you know, how to be credible and incredible in your field of expertise. But it does start with that focus. Just speaking of focus, I'll tell you what was happening to me last week. I was kind of frantic. You should have seen me. I was having a year. That I know that you'll have soon, Danielle. Once you join the club, these mommy meltdowns happen more often than you'd like to. So I felt like I just couldn't focus. I just couldn't see clearly. I felt like there was like this big cloud over my head, and I kept, writing down everything that I had to do, like on my to-do list, but I couldn't keep it straight. It didn't matter. I just couldn't keep focused, on any one idea in my head. Do you ever feel that way? I'm talking to a pregnant woman.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like you lose your train of thought right in the middle of a conversation, yeah. or like you go into the kitchen, you open up the refrigerator, and you stand there for a second and go, why am I here? Right, exactly. Well, and it's like way beyond like misplacing your keys. It's frustrating, and I was at the point where I was really losing it because I could not think straight. I couldn't see straight, and I was really busy. And it's very frustrating, especially when you're busy and you have these little people counting on you to keep it together. And that was me last week, and I was so stressed out, way more than I needed to be. Not because of the clutter in my mind necessarily, but because I just couldn't keep it all straight. Braden had his first school play. We needed to get costume pieces. Both boys had t-ball games and t-ball pictures, and we were in charge of snacks, and I had to get all these new clients who were requesting coaching time, and I putting together my Twitter course on Sunday, and it seemed like too much. And then suddenly I heard this little voice inside me say, your brain needs oxygen. It can't breathe. Mm-hmm. I swear I heard that. And I looked at my husband like in the middle of the chaos, and instead of having my mommy meltdown, I looked at him and I just went, I need to go for a run. And he's like, now? And I'm like, yes, now. I need to go for a run. And I did. And it was like, it was only like 8 minutes. Like I came back and he's like, that's it? That was like 8 minutes. I'm like, it's all I needed. But it's all I had time for. When I came back from my run, I was like, okay, I can see again. I have my focus again. I was able to compartmentalize everything. I knew exactly what to do and when. We're going to book this client there. We're going to buy this costume piece here. Oh, the snacks will be bought at this point. Like I could see clearly everything was happening, and all it was the oxygen to my brain.
And believe you're late.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you can't see straight. And, at that point, it was almost like I was just laughing at how simple and easy everything was, that I actually could sit there during my son's play and enjoy it because I wasn't going, what do I have to do as soon as the play's over? I could sit there and enjoy him. I could sit there and enjoy watching them in their t-ball. I was enjoying my life because I wasn't so stressed about keeping it all straight. And the only thing that was missing was the oxygen in my brain. It wasn't breathing. And so when you can finally see, and that's what I want to talk about today, is that when you can finally see clearly, when you do have that focus, holy cow, wow. You can have anything. You really can.
Oh, yeah. I completely relate with that. My focus time is right when I'm sitting in the car, when I've come back from an appointment. I take like 2 minutes and I just sit there and I just stare. And I'm like, let my brain just empty and dump. And then I can go in the house and finish doing what I need to do.
I love that. I use you to empty and dump my brain all the time. That's what you're there for, Danny Pie. Didn't you know that anytime I have I have all these emails coming in, I'm like, dump it on Danny. She'll do it. That's why I love you so much. It's not the only reason I love you. So anyway, I know that David's going to have a lot to say about this topic of focus today and how to get it, how to keep it, and have it work for you in your business, your personal life, your family life. Moms, we are a force to be reckoned with, and we are taking the world by storm. And David Essel is going to be an amazing guest today. I'm going to go ahead and give you the gift of leaving the coach lines open. So if you want to call in, if you have a comment or a question for me, but why would you have a question for me? You can call in and talk to me anytime. Call and talk to David. He's fantastic. The toll-free line is 877-864-4869. If you want to know a little bit about David, he's a national radio and television host on XM radio, on satellite radio, channel 246. He's given these professional presentations on how to lead a passionate and inspiring life that have drawn rave reviews from big corporations. And he, quite frankly, is like one of the best radio show hosts that I've ever heard. I aspire to be like him. We're in for a real treat for today. And you're going to want to stay tuned anyway, not only so that you can figure out how to keep that focus and that balance and to really exceed your own expectations in life, but we're going to tease you with what the gender of Danny's baby is by the end of the show. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll have David Essel joining us. Stay tuned.
Staying home, working from home, making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Lopreet. And we'll be right back after these.
This is Allie Lopreet. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. OurMilkMoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours. And each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Lopreet.
Welcome back to the second segment of This Little Parent Stayed Home. I'm Allie Laprete, your host, and today we're going to be interviewing David Essel. Although I'm thinking I might just let him just take over and have him run the show the way he normally runs his show. He's good. Let's go ahead and bring David on. He is a purely positive radio show host, and we're so excited to have him here today. Hi, David. How are you?
Ellie, you're tripping me out. You are so funny.
You're funny. You know, I think the nicest thing you ever said to me was when I appeared on your show, and you said, Allie matches my energy, and I went, oh, I wish I had everything, that the magic that you have inside of you. That's the nicest thing you could possibly ever said to me.
Oh, you're very welcome. No, it was great having you on the XM show. We had a blast that day. We laughed as much as we did anything else. And, you know, I mean, when you talk about focus and clearing your brain, you and Danielle were talking about that. And that's something that a lot of people working from home forget about. You know, that, I mean, we have to, of course, focus on the family. We have to focus on the crib, but we also have to be able to be clear-headed. And the examples that you both gave are great. You know, exercise is wonderful for focus. What Danielle said about sitting, decompressing, you know, we call it those 2 or 3 minutes of decompression. Yeah. Sitting in the car, chilling out before you go in, either go into the home to whatever's there or go into an appointment. Those things are highly valuable, just like prayer and meditation, Allie. I mean, huge tools for people that are trying to create a life that's less stressful and more productive. All of this stuff is crucial.
It's really crazy how we forget, and it's because it's like we've let things go too far when our mind becomes so clouded and we can't see straight. And then you go, oh, yeah, you mean I can fix this? I can fix this with, you know, meditation, with exercise, with, you know, for me, it's not just exercise. It's exercise with music. I have to be listening to my music. Sure. It's very cathartic, you know, but sometimes it's like, oh, I let things go so far that I forgot that there was actually a solution to how I'm feeling.
Yeah. You know, years ago, an associate of mine who's a medical doctor, his name's James Rippey, wrote a breakthrough book called Fit for Success. And it was so important. It still is to this day. It was so important when he came up with, through this study, that 75% of Fortune 500 corporate executives, they're working 70 to 80 hours a week, and they're exercising 4 to 5 days a week. Now, that 75% of this top echelon of highly productive men and women are finding time to exercise because they said in the book that it wasn't just for the health benefits because their doctor told them to. It was about stress reduction. It was about focus. It was about getting those creative juices flowing that nothing can really touch at the way exercise can, Allie.
Yeah, it's keeping yourself completely alert and engaged, and you need that razor sharp focus. And if you're feeling like it's all cluttered, there's no way that you're going to be able to come up with the ideas that you need to keep yourself on top. It makes so much sense.
Yeah. You know, whenever I'm working with someone who's writing a book and I'm trying to help them get focused on what they need to do, and there's certain steps. Most people that work in the world of public speaking or helping people to write books, we know that it's all about focus. And if someone ever says to me, I've hit this writer's block, the very first thing I say is, go for a run or a walk. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like I don't believe in writer's blocks. I believe that most writer's blocks comes from the point of view that we're not focused and organized, and we don't have a system that we're writing from. We don't have an outline, a really heavily detailed outline.
Interesting.
If someone has a really good outline when they're writing a book, they should never hit a writer's block. But if they do, it could be from fatigue, it could be from worry, anxiety, etc. And exercise would be the number one thing to help them break through that block, to let the creative juice flow. Bingo, they're back in the game.
And this is really imperative, and it's so important, especially this is coming from a woman, and I am a big believer in exercise, and I'm not even a fitness guru. Like, I was the person who never joined a gym. I don't like to sweat. That was me. And it's amazing how anytime anyone ever said, go get some exercise, I'd go, ugh, no, it was like torture for me until I realized the benefits, the real physical benefits of getting your mind alert and getting that sense of focus. So, David, I have to know, because I've become such a huge fan of yours just in the few months that I've started to get to know you. Everything I read about you, I'm just so inspired by all that you do. Where did it all start? When did you become the great man that you are?
Well, my mom and dad got together this one night, and they did this.
You know what I mean? When did you become such a master in life coaching and really helping people get to their highest potential?
My work, actually, we were talking about fitness. My work began in the fitness industry, and for about 10 years, that's all I did. That's all. I traveled the world speaking at fitness conferences, and that was it. That was the biggest thing in the world. And from that, I guess if we back up a little before that, I was always involved in sports in high school and college, and in those sports that I played, I always assumed a leadership role. And that leadership role after college, when my sport days were over, turned into a love of fitness, and the love of fitness turned into being an instructor, a teacher, a motivational fitness speaker, that kind of stuff. And then it just morphed, Allie, into radio and television. But I think that for a lot of us, there's a spark that, as teachers and leaders and whatever word you want to use, there's a spark that's been there from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so when we tap into doing what we love, which you're a huge proponent of, when we tap into that and we figure out that we have some innate leadership talent, it's not enough to have that innate leadership talent. Then we have to maximize it, right?
Yep, exactly.
So when we follow, our heart and do what we love, I remember, one of my first mentors, rest in peace, Richard Gerson. The guy was amazing, died way too young, but he was a mentor of mine. And I remember when he hired me, and I was back in the world of fitness, and he asked me what I wanted to be. And I said, without a doubt, I want to be one of the top motivational speakers in the world. And he looked at me and he shook his head, and I thought, oh, man, what's coming next? And then he goes, of course you can be. Go get your master's degree. Mm-hmm. This was a guy that saw that I had that potential, but he also knew I needed to be groomed, right? Uh-huh. So for your listeners right now, if someone has said to you, you can do this, but you have to go on and follow X, whatever X is, taking courses at night, taking courses online, to be able to nurture that skill, I will tell you that going back for the master's degree was one of the key moves in my life. Coming out of that, when I got the master's degree, I said to him, what's next? And he said, now, go speak for 2 years and do not accept a penny.
Wow. Why?
Yeah.
Why did he tell you that?
Because he wanted me to become so exceptional that when I did start charging, I had the value behind the energy. Isn't that amazing?
Well, yeah. I'm right on track with that because I'm speaking all the time and not getting paid. So now you just made me feel better.
Yes. Well, now there's ways, and this wasn't, we didn't know this back when I first started speaking, of how to maximize your speaking platform without ever charging for it for whoever's bringing you in. But you know what, Ellie, I have to tell you, that was like some of the most amazing advice I ever got because, at the end of 2 years, I was so honed. My skills were so honed at 2 years of speaking. I had no pressure for 2 years. I would go in and just speak from my heart and talk about topics I loved, but since they weren't paying me, I didn't feel any pressure. And then when I started speaking, I said, oh, my Lord, look at the list of endorsements. Ellie, I probably had 20 companies' endorsements over those 2 years for speaking, that it looked like I'd been speaking for 20 years. And then when I started saying, this is my fee, no one balked because they said, oh, my Lord, look at how many endorsements he has, right?
Right, exactly. So that does make sense. So then how did you fund yourself? How did you keep yourself, alive and eating and with a roof over your head if you weren't getting paid for all the work that you were doing?
Well, I was also a personal trainer.
Okay.
I did other work that, I worked in a spa, a fitness spa. It was this gorgeous freaking facility. Oh, my God. It was just so stunning. So, I had my day job, and then in the evenings or lunchtime when I could get away, I would set up my speaking gigs. So, my bills were being paid by doing the day-to-day work, but then the extracurricular work was setting me up for a future. And when I look back now and think, oh, my gosh, how am I going to speak for 2 years and not get paid? Those 2 years of not being paid gave me so much experience that now it's, I've been a public speaker for 30 years now. And in the last 30 years, I always can look back at that, just like I'm telling you the story right now, laughing and saying, that guy was brilliant.
I love it. I love that confidence. I mean, you are brilliant, but the fact that you know it, and that's really rare. It's really rare for somebody to really know what their special talents are and how valuable they are and how valuable all their insight is that they want to give to the world, that you feel that confident about it. That is, I got to ask you how you, is the fact that you went out there and tried it for 2 years, is that what gave you the confidence, that experience?
That was I could not put a value on that. At the end of the 2 years, and when I mentioned before that I had all these endorsements, and I would go to and I'd say to someone, I'd want to come in and speak at your fitness conference, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. They would say, well, who have you spoken to? And I would, back then, but this is funny. We didn't email things; we actually mailed them. And so I would mail them a list of the endorsements I have, and there would never be a doubt that within 4 to 5 days later, I'd be getting a call saying, "Yes, we want to book you. What's your availability?" So the confidence that came, it was incredible. When I heard earlier that you're doing like maverick marketing and things like that.
Yes, I was just going to say this sounds like maverick marketing.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. Because, and here's the thing, and over the years, I've had many mentors, Allie, that have a very similar approach to living life at that maverick level. Mm-hmm. And Richard was one of them, because when he said, speak for 2 years for free, I thought that was insane, and he was correct. Over the years, when different mentors have said, I want you to go and do this, I want you to write a book without ever having a publishing contract. And I said, do you know how long it takes to write a book? And they said, listen, just go do the work, and they were always right. And so for the listeners to your show, if you're sitting and you're wondering what's the missing link, this whole concept of marketing, and I hate to use the cliche from out of the box, but I'm going to anyway.
I know. I wish there was a better term. We've got to coin it.
Yeah, we really do. I'll tell you what it should be. Out of the circle. Because the circle is where a dog chases its tail. Uh-huh. And that's what so many of us do in marketing or promotion. We chase our tails. We do the same thing round and round and round, even though it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, we keep doing the same things.
Absolutely. Right. So when I heard you talking about maverick marketing, for your listeners, jump on that. Oh my God, jump on that, because that's exactly what we need to do. We need to have our cages rattled. We need to have someone telling us to do something that sounds so bizarre, and instead of coming up with a block or an excuse, just do it. Just jump on the train, do what you're being told, because that's where the breakthroughs come.
That's so brilliant. We're talking here with David Essel. Isn't he amazing? We totally match each other's energy. We're talking about working out of the box, out of the circle. Stop chasing your tail. Maverick marketing. When we come back, we're going to give you even some more tips on how you can do just that. Don't go away.
Staying home, working from home, making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Lopreet. And we'll be right back after these.
If you're a self-employed parent, you know what it takes to run a business and a household at the same time. At OurMilkMoney.com, we get it too. And we connect you with other moms and dads who appreciate the value of your business and flex their consumer power to support you in your choice to work from home. Best of all, it's free. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to get your home business some buzz and contribute to the movement that is truly changing lives, one family at a time.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Lopreet.
Welcome back to the second part of This Little Parent Stayed Home. We're talking here with David Essel. And David, I absolutely love what you were just saying about maverick marketing. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. You have to be willing to try something new, especially if the same things that you're doing over and over again are not giving you any new results. Then you have to be willing to think different. And that's really hard for some people to conceptualize. But it is like chasing your own tail. It is like, you have to think outside of the norm, outside of the circle. And even though that may seem a little bit uncomfortable for some people, it's not uncomfortable for me. It feels good to me. If I come up with something that no one else has come up with, I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. I can't wait to implement it. But I see so many people sort of cower and go, oh no, that's breaking the rules. That's different than what other people do. Is there anything that you can say about people who might be feeling uncomfortable with thinking outside the circle?
Oh, absolutely, Ellie. I mean, the key to moving from where we are to where we really would like to be is going to be walking by surrender. You know, it's going to be taking that fear, that insecurity. You know, I joke with some of my clients when I'm working with them, and they've come to a block, and then I say, here's an exercise I want you to do, and they'll go, oh, David, you don't understand. You know, I'm a Capricorn. That would never work for me. Or, you know, or whatever the excuse is. I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have the money. You know, whatever. I mean, we come up with all kinds of blocks. But it really is, it takes a 100% surrender to someone else's plan in order to get to that next level. If we're talking about building your home-based business, taking care of your physical health, building your relationship, whatever it might be, it will always get to that point, Ellie, where we have to eventually say, what I have been doing isn't getting me where I need to go, so let me drop that small ego, let me jump into the game again, and this person is filled with joy, brilliance, light, the divine. This person is on a great path financially. This person is doing what I want. Well, guess what? Then do what they tell you. It's that simple.
Right. So fantastic. There has to come a point where you realize that the only thing standing in your way is yourself. Especially if you're getting advice like that. I mean, oh my gosh, you do match me. I love your energy. It looks like we've got a caller on the line. It's somebody who wants your brilliant advice for their own personal challenge. So let's go ahead and hit the phone lines. Welcome, Jasmine. Thank you so much for calling into this little parent stayed home. Do you have a question for David?
Yes, and thank you for taking my call. My question is about I'm trying to build a business coaching business, and part of what I want to do is speak and to give workshops. And my question is, how do I pitch myself or other leaders who are emerging leaders, how do we pitch ourselves to different organizations or events, especially when we're first starting and we don't have that string of accolades behind us that makes us more desirable?
Oh, my God, Jasmine, that's a great question. Okay, so number one, let's start with an opposite look. What do you have? Like, I would make a list of what do I bring to the table. This is just for your own information. Like, how am I brilliant? How am I superb? How am I unique? How am I different, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to get grounded in your uniqueness, your beauty, your brilliance. But you really have to know it before anyone else is going to. I spoke at a commencement address for a university not too long ago, and before I did the address, I had a chance to meet with a bunch of the marketing seniors. And I asked them what were their strengths. Like I said, I want to go around the room and just find out, do you know that 80% of the kids, these are graduating seniors in marketing, they did not know their own strengths. They would say, I'm not really quite sure. And if we don't know what they are, that energy of not knowing, Jasmine, will come out to the businesses that you're going to approach. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So you really have to be grounded in how wonderful, outrageously talented, gifted that you are. That's number one. Number two, reach out and offer to speak for free on topics that are passionate to you. Like one of the things my mentor, Richard Gerson, told me, and we probably don't have time for me to get into a bunch of stories, but a killer tip he gave me is that no matter how big the organization, how much they want to pay you, or how many people are going to be in the audience, if the topic is not one of your passion, say no. So the second exercise I'd give you is write a list of 6, 8, 10 topics that you have outrageous passion for. Allie's Maverick Marketing might be something great for you to look at, because if we get stuck in creative juices, we've got to have someone else help us to be able to see what's my USP, what's my unique selling point.
Right.
Right? Okay, so then you craft an individual email letter to start with, I would recommend, before you call someone, that goes to all the business groups in your town, all the Rotary clubs, all the Lions clubs, all the chambers of commerces, and I would hit them all and offer a free presentation. If they need a 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute lunchtime or evening presentation on any of the below topics. Now, you're going to present the topics because you need to stay in your area of expertise, right? Mm-hmm. So some people make a mistake and they'll throw out this huge net that says, if there's any way I could ever help you as a speaker, and that does nothing to the organization. The organization now has to do all the work to come up with a topic.
Right.
Great advice.
And they're going to throw that right away. They're going to go, oh, my God, she wants to come in and speak, and she wants us to do the work, too? That ain't going to work. But if you look at, I'm just going to say a women's business group, and you say, here's a topic, you know how people still love the 10 top this, the 7 this, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you say, listen, here's a 7-minute presentation on the 6 mistakes women in business make and what you can do about it, or something cool that grabs attention, right? Mm-hmm. How to love your business and your partner. Something that, come on, let's get some fun in here. Let's create some kind of, noise and to get attention so they go, oh, my gosh, who's this Jasmine chick? Because I'm kind of liking where she's going with this, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you send it out, but then here's the mistake many people make. Allie will back me up on this.
I sure will.
You send this stuff out, and then we sit and wait.
Right, instead of following up.
And so follow up with phone calls. I even recommend to my business clients to follow up with letters, Jasmine, because no one does it.
Right. Okay.
So if you get what's that next day UPS priority mail?
Oh, I think it's like a second day, or I'm not sure, like overnight air.
So you make sure that you get there the next day, right?
Yeah,
right.
And so and it's in a big envelope. Okay, everyone is going to open that first.
Right, this is true.
It'll cost you $5.95 or $4.95, but put it in a USPS box or a big envelope, and they're going to open it first, Jasmine. And those are the type of things that'll help you stand out. And then the next thing and the last thing I'm going to tell you is this: make sure you are exceptional in your presentation by practicing recording, even if it's just audio. If you can record video, that'd even be better, right? Mm-hmm. Practice, so that when you get your first shot, you are prepared and they will want you back, Jasmine.
That is such fantastic advice. I love that you said that. There's a term that is going around in my small pool, and I know you'll love this, David, if you haven't heard it already. We like to strategically stock with excellence. And it really is like you're saying, it's with that razor-sharp focus of, I want to get on, I did this years ago with my mentor, Tori Johnson on Good Morning America. I was determined to get her to like me. And that was my razor-sharp focus. I was going to do everything I could to get her to like me. I was worried. There was that voice in the back of my head that said, don't piss her off. Don't annoy her. Don't get her like she's a crazy woman who won't leave me alone. I had to kind of stay within the rules, the etiquette rules, but you can bet that I was pushing right up against those boundaries. Right. If I was allowed to email her every single day without her getting annoyed, then I was going to do just that. And whenever I could, I strategically stalked her with excellence. And now she's one of my biggest fans and willing to do whatever it takes to support me when I need her. But that's the kind of thinking outside that circle that David is talking about. I completely agree. And it does come with that confidence. Mm-hmm. And that confidence is what seems to be missing with so many people.
Absolutely. Oh, there are so many people that if they could break through that and really get to know themselves and appreciate who they are, could move massive mountains, but we hold ourselves back just by the energy we project that says, I'm not quite sure I'm ready. I'm not quite sure I'm focused. And if we're not focused, potential people who want to work with us will pick that energy up and go, I'm just not quite sure what it is about him or her. I don't know if it's a good match. And someone else who's just projecting that very powerful, I'm speaking about what I love, I'm doing what I love, individuals will want to be around you.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome, Jasmine.
Does that feel like pretty good advice, Jasmine? You feel
absolutely. I'm taking notes. I'm ready to get started.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much for calling in. And Jasmine, there's always a warm welcome for you. You have an open invitation to call in. Let us know how it's going. And if you hit any other challenges, you can always call back into the show, and we'll see if we can find a solution for you there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Ellie, you know, I wanted to mention for your listeners, too, you know, to help people stay focused, we have a free book that we are giving away via our website. It's available in 8 different downloadable formats.
Okay.
And it's called The Power of Focus. So for all of your listeners, this is one of the things that, you know, we know is missing in a lot of our lives, and it's the one most important ingredient for business and personal and relationship success is focus. So if your listeners want to go to talkdavid.com, they'll see right on the homepage The Power of Focus, absolutely free. Download it and rock with it.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to be the first one to download it right now. Danny, make sure that I noted that. Write that down. We've got to get this. I'm going to repeat it. The Power of Focus. It's a free downloadable book written by David Essel. You can get to it at talkdavid.com. Is that right?
That's correct, honey. Talkdavid.com.
I absolutely love this. And all of the things that you're saying, I have to say, it's all the things that I already believe that really, truly resonate with me. But there's a few key things. There's a few key ingredients that I'm noticing are missing in, I know, my clients and even in my business, where I go, oh, so that's why this isn't working. It was that confidence level. It's the way that when you do strategically stock with excellence, if you hold back in any way because you're not 100% confident, or you're approaching it in an apologetic way, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but if you attack it the way that you have obviously been attacking it, then you're going to find yourself way more successful and catapulted into the successful career that you obviously have. And what a career you have, David.
Thank you, Ellie. Yeah, and, you know, it's a choice. So many times people think that, you know, this attitude stuff is a genetic gift, and there could be some people with a genetic gift of a powerful, confident attitude, but for most of us, it's a choice. It's getting up in the morning and going through rituals that create confidence. It's doing the exercise I gave to Jasmine, you know, writing down what is my unique selling point and how am I wonderful and unique and different and deserving and all of that kind of stuff. And at first, some of us have to actually, we think we're making the stuff up. You know, we think that we're writing things down, but is this really me? The repetition of these rituals, of thinking differently, realizing my attitude is a choice, my confidence is a choice. Oh, my God, my confidence is a choice. Do you know how many people have so little talent, but they believe so greatly in themselves that everyone else believes in them?
I know. It's amazing. We're going to come back in just a minute. We've got a lot more to talk about here with David Essel. Don't go away.
Staying home, working from home, making your dreams a reality? We're working on it. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home with Allie Lopreet, and we'll be right back after these.
This is Allie Lopreet. Now, as you know, I have made it my personal mission to help 1 million parents bring their careers home. And I'm always on the lookout for the best work-at-home opportunities that's going to allow you to sign your own paychecks and be able to put your family first. That is why I am truly excited to be able to present a legitimate income-making opportunity to those of you who are truly serious about working from home. I've teamed up with my very good friend, Bridget Brady, and together we're going to be offering a free 30-minute teleseminar on the first Wednesday of every month so that we can show you how to make money online using an already proven system. You can reserve your seat by going to thislittleparent.com, and under the Business Opportunities tab on the right side, you'll find the registration link for this free 30-minute call. It's free, it's strictly informational, and it's already been giving a lot of parents just like you the resources to take control of their financial future. Go to thislittleparent.com to reserve your complimentary seat, and we'll see you there.
Do you know the power that you have as a consumer? You have the power to choose where to spend your hard-earned dollars. OurMilkMoney.com is an easily accessible online business directory that lists the products and services of self-employed parents. It's a great place for you to flex that consumer power of yours. And each time you do, you'll be helping a mom or dad afford the choice to stay home with their kids. Visit OurMilkMoney.com today to do your shopping, list your own business, or make a personal contribution to the global movement that's allowing business owners to put their families first.
Welcome back to This Little Parent Stayed Home, the no-brainer tutorial that will show you how to give up your corporate salary and get started supplementing your family revenue by offering the skills that you've already had, all the while staying home with the most precious gift that life has to offer, our children. It's This Little Parent Stayed Home. Now, back to the show with Allie Lopreet.
Allie Allie Lepre here, your host of This Little Parent Stayed Home, and I'm here with David Essel. David, we only have 15 minutes. I mean, really, there's so many things that I want to work with you on and ask questions about. My biggest question, though, is, and this, I came on your show, and I was as authentic as I talked about my mental breakdown on your show. And what I want to know is the most authentic thing that you can tell me, and that is, what happens to you when you're not feeling positive, when you're not feeling confident? There had to have been a time when you realized that you needed to get more confidence. Was there a time where you thought, wow, I'm just in my own way? And I'd love to know what you did to bust through that.
It was November 1st, 1980, from 9 o'clock to 9:10 in the morning.
It was like 10 minutes. He was only unconfident for 10 minutes of his life.
It was a bear, Allie. But at 11 after the hour, I snapped out of it. Thank God.
So what do you do to snap out of it?
You know what? It's a great question, and I think authenticity is beautiful. So I'm very happy to share that. I've been gratefully and recovered, and I'm going to be as bold as say I'm a recovered alcoholic and a recovered cocaine addict. So my ups and downs in life were really quite dramatic during the 30-plus years of addiction, and coming out of that, the womb of addiction. One of the most incredible things that happened, and as a matter of fact, it's a book that is being written right now, and the working title is "Every Addiction is a Pathway to God," and what I found in my work in helping people recover and in my own recovery, Allie, is that our greatest challenges are facing that incredible depth that we are and not trying to run from it or hide from it. I mean, my drugs of choice were alcohol and cocaine. Other people use food, nicotine, spending. There's all kinds of just wonderful addictions out there.
Yeah.
But I think that for us to go through the ups and downs in life and to remove all substances and activities that block us from feeling those ups and downs is one of the most important things we can do. Some people use reality TV shows as an addiction. Some people use gossip. Some people use power. Some people use codependency. So there's all kinds of ways we avoid. But once we strip away and get to who we really are without anything that's blocking us, life becomes so outrageous. Like, for your listeners right now, whatever they might be using to avoid their emotions, whatever we're doing to get out of who we truly are is taking more effort and work, Allie, than we could ever imagine possible. That effort and work is taking away from our ability to be more successful financially, to have a better loving relationship with our partner or our children. I mean, all of that stuff is stripping us of the opportunity to be who we truly are. And in that opportunity to be who we truly are, we become more confident, we become more patient, more compassionate with ourselves first, which is so crucial. So, I've gone through all kinds of hell and back, and I will say to you that it was all part of the learning experience, I guess. If I could do it again, would I change it? Probably, honestly, probably. But,
really, you would?
Yeah,
what would you change? What would you change if you could go back?
Well, I spent so much money on cocaine. Yeah. That was like a huge thing. That was a huge thing, number one. Whenever you have an active addiction, and I don't care if it's codependency or spending or nicotine or anything, it is blocking our ability to be intimate, of course, with ourselves, but it's truly blocking our ability to be intimate with another.
That is so crazy. And what's crazy to me is that you talk about how it was alcohol and cocaine. I don't personally relate, but I do know that people have said to me, Allie, I think you need cocaine to calm you down, as a joke. And it's always so funny to me that I think, wow, people use cocaine to get the kind of energy that I was just naturally born with. But you have this natural, amazing energy as if it is heightened by a drug. And yet you're not dependent on it anymore. So you found this energy was actually being masked. That's crazy to me.
Well, my energy has always been at this level. So you can imagine me on coke, right? I mean, that's a nightmare for the wrong type of personality person. I was a nightmare on cocaine. But, I mean, I can laugh about coke. If there's any of your listeners that have a family member that's struggling with cocaine or any drug and they hear someone on the air laughing like this, some people can get offended, and there's no offense necessary.
Not at all.
You know, in our healing process, one of the greatest things is being able to laugh at who we were.
Yep.
And it's really important, as a matter of fact, in recovery to be able to look at who we used to be and say, oh, my God, that was insane. My energy was always there, but, you know, there was something that I was searching for that I didn't feel comfortable without a substance every day. Like, being who I was wasn't enough to me. I was insecure, believe it or not. I mean, even though I've been doing this work forever and I've been in front of 5,000 people speaking, I mean, I've really done some pretty wacky things for someone that didn't have as much confidence as I thought. I projected, Allie, this, and I was talking about myself earlier. You know, I projected early on in my career this outrageous confidence, which I even bought into myself. But when I was by myself, I had to numb myself. Like, I didn't feel worthy of all the accolades and the success.
Unbelievable. So you had to escape from whatever that negative feeling was that you weren't ready to deal with.
Absolutely. You know, I did, and that was, and it's, you know, and if you look, this is pretty normal in people in entertainment. You look at actresses and you look at musicians and you look at people who are in front of big audiences all the time. And when they're off stage, you know, they're questioning, like, am I really that good? And am I worthy of these people applauding? And am I? And so to shut those voices off in the head, and instead of taking care of it, we've found through a variety of behaviors and substances ways to numb out. And so, you know, that's what we've chosen to do. Now, the beautiful side, the flip side, is the freedom from any addiction whatsoever brings you the immense confidence that you were always looking for. Isn't that wild?
It really is. And it really goes to show that whatever challenges you are up against they really do present themselves as opportunities for you to resolve them, not just for yourself, but for the rest of the world. So your struggles really become the contributions that you can give to the world and give other people permission to get out from under whatever it is holding them back.
You know, amen to that. And remember when I was mentioning earlier, I mean, and I preach surrender. And the only way I got past, you know, these addictions was a 100% surrender to someone else's program. Like, you know, people saying to me, this is so funny, but I can't use the words that they use because we're on radio, but you'll get the gist. They would say, Essel, your best fill-in-the-blank thinking has gotten you into this world of addiction. Quit thinking and do exactly what I say, nothing more, nothing less.
Yep.
You know? So when we talk about people that want to hire business success, they want to make more money, they want to create this at-home business that's flourishing. Well, whatever they're making right now, by themselves, there's a damn good chance they're not going to make very much more.
Exactly. Because they haven't learned how to bust through that comfort zone without the help of somebody else.
But if they surrender to someone like you, someone like myself, someone else that is just, there's exceptional people all over this world that do this work. If they surrender to someone else's program, there is a damn good chance they'll break through, and they will amaze themselves at where they go.
I love it. And I do want to make another shout out again for anyone that's listening right now. You can find him on davidessel.com. Also, go to talkdavid.com and you can download that free downloadable book, The Power of Focus. And it's amazing what this show has turned into today about what focus can do for you when you have it, when you don't have it, when you are in need of it, and what you can quickly do to get yourself to have that clarity to see exactly what you need to do to push through whatever is holding you back. And 9 times out of 10, it sounds like it is just that confidence. So we only have a few more minutes left in the show, David. I want you to tell me before you leave today, what is the one thing that you feel we can all learn from you that might radically change our lives forever?
The most important thing I could share, Allie, is that there is this amount of brilliance within everyone on listening right now and who will listen to this as a podcast. There's an amount of brilliance. There's a light, a spark, the word you can fill in the blank that we have not yet tapped into. When we do tap into that next level of brilliance, it will be so bright, it will be so blinding that we'll actually be stunned by how amazing we are as individuals. And the people listening right now that are struggling with an addiction or a food addiction or something else that's blocking them from that absolute joy, they are just as worthy as the person who's into their 10th year of recovery from some addiction. They're just as worthy of that brilliance as the person who's financially independent right now. There is no separation for the brilliance from anyone, no matter where they are. But the number one step to get there is to start to open up the portal of hope. That hope that says that if I keep doing the uncomfortable steps that I'm hearing on this show, that I hear whatever Allie is talking about down the road in the previous shows, if I can keep that hope that I can get there too, we will. And through the hope is the portal that leads to brilliance that will be absolutely spellbinding to every person listening right now. They will awaken one day going, oh, my Lord, he was right.
What an amazing, amazing amount of advice. What a gift you have given us today in this only very short hour. David, you have an open invitation to join us anytime. I feel like there's more that we can collaborate on. I know that I want to learn as much from you as I possibly can, so why wouldn't the rest of the world? It's been an absolute joy. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, Allie, you're welcome. I loved it, my angel, and I will come back and we'll rock and roll again.
I love it. And for all of you out there, all of you listeners, I promised you at the beginning of the show that we were going to reveal the gender of my lovely assistant producer, Danielle Bach. So, Danielle, would you like to reveal what you're having in your little, who are you growing in your little belly?
Oh, it's a girl.
It's a girl. And girls are amazing. One more girl. We really are a force to be reckoned with. We are here at this little parent stay at home. We are here to help you really thrive in your life. We're here to help you make the best decisions and the best commitment to yourself that you possibly can to move forward in your life so that you can have the freedoms to take care of your family on your own terms, never, ever having to answer to anybody else. We'll see you all next week. Take care. Have a fantastic week and enjoy your summer. See you soon.